Hello everybody. In the current affairs this week, the week ended 9th of June 2024. The best way to describe the week was it was a somersault week. On Monday, the opinion polls impacted the stock market and the market was on an upswing. On Tuesday, as soon as the results of the general elections were announced, the markets was in a very bad mood and it was on a decline. But as soon as Wednesday, Thursday and Friday set, the stock market participants started analyzing the impact of the elections. They started understanding that these things are not going to change. The first and foremost, India's foreign policy, India's relations with the rest of the world. Second, the push of the government for tax and financial sector reforms. Thirdly, the thrust of the government on infrastructure, defense production, strengthening the public sector undertakings, reviving manufacturing, and digitization is not going to change. And especially when this government is being supported by allies like Chandrababu Naidu, who is having a track record of being highly reformist in his state. Then this market started understanding another aspect was the local advantages which India has, which is demographics and a large local market that is not going to change. When it comes to the global positioning of India, the China plus one advantage which India is having is not going to change. So the market came to terms and they started understanding that the vital factors which has provided strength to the Indian stock markets and the economy is as such not going to change. But now let us understand what is expected to change and what all things would not be able to be done by the new government. All these things with the new government will not be able to do are more of non-economic actions which might not be able to pursue by the new government. The first being the common civil code. The second being changing over a masjid or a dargah to a temple, single elections for state and the center, delimitation of constituencies, and Operation Kamal, which the government or the earlier government now had been able to carry out in several states with the help of the governors. These kinds of actions would not be able to do with the present coalition government which we are now facing. But these are the things which are completely non-economic. As far as the economic agenda is concerned, the economic agenda of the government, the market has started realizing that it is not going to change. And it is for this reason, net, at the end of the week, the Nifty 50, Nifty Mid Cap and Nifty Small Cap, all three were up by around 3%. The FIIs continued to be sellers to the extent of more than 14,000 crores, but DIIs were moderate buyers in the Indian stock market. The Indian stock market saw a lot of sector rotation in this week. Sectors like FMCG, IT and auto, all the three sectors were up by 7 to 8%. But the sectors which used to be the gainers in the earlier week, like Nifty PSU Bank and Nifty Oil and Gas, were by and large unmoved. As far as the global commodity markets are concerned, crude was down by more than 3%, and silver was also down by around 3%. Gold was also down by around 1%. As far as the US stock markets are concerned, Nasdaq was up by more than 2% and S&P 500 was up by more than 1%. One piece of news which I came across through was that in 55 years history, the workforce of Samsung has gone on a strike, demanding more wages. This is an indication that all the emerging economies which have gained economically in last 10-15 years, the cost of production in those economies like South Korea have started increasing, and this is advantage India. The manufacturing plants and manufacturing facilities from these countries where the cost of production has started increasing can now very well shift to countries like India. This is all for this week. Thank you.